Welcome to the Intercut podcast, the weekly show going over the TV, movies, and entertainment that people can't cut away from. I'm your co-host, Zachary Shevich, and joining me, he's got A24 All Access. It's Arturo
Hey,
Zurita.
I wish I had. I kind of have it sprinkled all in, little Easter eggs. Oh, look at that, some A24 stuff right there. Pretty much, I have all the A24 little bits in here, sprinkled out. Got a little past lives over there. When you sell such good merch, it's like Nike. You end up becoming the walking advertisement for. Oh, look at this, another one right there.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of A24 stuff. So I got a 24 pack of posters, damn near.
Surrounded by A24 stuff because that merch is like uncompared to other studios. They know how to market those movies, and
It was A24 than Pixar.
and it's made A24 aficionados out of all of us. So we wanted to invite on someone who's seen just as many A24 movies as we have. It's Amanda the Jedi. Thanks for returning for another bracket, Amanda. What does A24 mean to you?
Oh man. Prestige, maybe a little obnoxious, just premiere film, you know? It's like, I know some people that it's like, it doesn't matter if it's a good movie, if it's A24, they're going to like it. And at some point, there's got to be, you got to be able to know when something's not good. But for the most part, all of their stuff is really good. They have quality across the board. They have something for everyone. And as we will see going into this, they are starting to branch outside some of their normal fanfare, or kind of what they've been kind of boxing themselves into over the past handful of years. They're starting to break out in some of those genre film categories. So yeah, it's good. It's interesting to see the progression.
Yeah, the definition of what an A24 film is certainly has kind of evolved since the studio first burst onto the scene in the early 2010s. Movies like Spring Breakers and the Bling Ring, which really got this reputation for being subversive, kind of like anti-authoritarian, punkish art films that relied a lot on these interesting star castings in unexpected ways. They still do a lot of stuff like that, but they also are a big Oscar contender perennially. They were the biggest Oscar winner in the most recent awards, and they are now also a name in TV and in straight to streaming stuff with their deals with Apple as well. So yeah, it's not as easy to pin down A24 as it once was. Art, how have you felt about watching their evolution? Because it used to be the plucky underdog, and now they feel like one of the dominant forces in movie distribution.
Knowing the history of A24 and knowing like they were guys who had worked with other studios in the past, I think the one thing that's really helped them has been their financing. Because they were finance bros, they were finance bros who knew to give filmmakers kind of like the Blumhouse treatment, but also knowing to pick the right filmmakers. Because I think the one thing with Blumhouse is that you can get an Oscar award-winning Get Out, Whiplash, but then you'll get a lot of stuff in between, and he didn't mind as long as it was making money. A24, I've always felt, is like if you're comparing it to music, they're the alternative. Doesn't mean that it's not going to branch into things that are not in the mainstream, but it's almost been like a way for filmmakers to be able to get their visions out that may have not been picked up by other studios. And not to get all nerdy, but like it's almost like the way in the 70s they talked about United Artists and how that was a studio that just like Netflix today was throwing money at any filmmaker who wanted to make whatever crazy idea. And I think A24 has been able to kind of build this repertoire of starting filmmakers' careers, enhancing filmmakers' careers, and has really established themselves, obviously, with this bracket that we're doing because they just won the big one, which is the Best Picture.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are talking about like our favorite A24 movies, the movies that we've deemed the best, but they do put out a lot of movies, and there are those films that slip through the cracks that don't end up on brackets like these. But there are movies like Lamb out there, and there are movies what's God's Creatures that we didn't put on the list. So this isn't every single A24 movie, but we've ran it by our patrons. We've ran it by the three of us. These are the 64 A24 films that we think are at least worthy of being in that conversation for the best A24 movie. Before we fully launch into the bracket, do want to do a quick shout to some of the honorable mentions that came close but did not ultimately make our list. There are movies like A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan III,
Yes.
Ginger and Rosa, Revenge of the Green Dragons, The Rover, Life After Beth, Tusk, The Captive, Slow West, Barely Lethal, Mississippi Grind, Mojave or Adderall Diaries, Sea of Trees, De Palma, Equals, Morris from America, Obvious Child, Cretia, When You Finish Saving the World. I don't think we put Causeway on there, right? I don't think we put When You Finish Saving the World in there. Yeah.
Wow, I thought you were gonna sneak it in there.
Nah.
You
Unfortunately,
left out Tusk? No, I'm joking. That's fine.
I mean, for some people,
I almost fought for it, Amanda. But
That's fair. I didn't know it was an A24 movie until he just said that out loud, and I was like, "What?" And I covered that recently.
But there's stuff like Slice and stuff like Hole in the Ground and High Life and Low Tide and In Fabric and On the Rocks, and I don't think we put Saint Maud on there. You know,
That's
there's
fine.
lots of movies that people love from A24 that ultimately did not make our cut. I kind of feel confident in the movies we chose, though, because they've released a lot of great films. We have a pretty big bracket, 64 movies in total from A24. And as always, we break them down by the earliest to be released through the most recent to be released, which is going to lead to some very tough decisions pretty soon.
I did make Zach change the bracket because one was just going to be, it was like, you can't do that. You can't do that to two movies that are like going to be some of the best of the year. So we have to stack it against, we have to fix it.
Yeah, we had to do a little bit of manipulation down in 2023. But that is a problem.
Let me know what it is.
The future.
You'll know what it is.
We're going to start it out with Spring Breakers versus The Bling Ring. In my mind, these are two of the movies that really put A24 on the map, gave it a kind of name and an attitude that felt like unique to them, that give them an identity, right? And I think both of these movies are not necessarily remembered the most fondly. They have their defenders, but there's a lot of people who don't like the stories, don't like how they were depicted, found the filmmaking in some of them to be frustrating. I think there's a lot to really appreciate about both of these films. I'm personally somebody who thinks Spring Breakers is like subtly a pretty brilliant movie, even though it appears kind of trashy on its surface. I think there's like a lot deeper ideas going on there. But yeah, more than kind of trashy. So I'll go with Spring Breakers. I don't know how either of you feel about these movies. Amanda, you want to start us off? Do you have a preference between Spring Breakers and The Bling Ring?
I did rewatch both of them today.
Nice.
I think Spring Breakers is trashy as fuck, but I do think it's probably trying to do a little bit more than Bling Ring. I think Bling Ring gets a bad rap, but I guess I'll give it to Spring Breakers, even though, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to sit and really, really pay attention to it again, but yeah.
It's about the different identities of the same person. Arturo, do you like the Emma Watson performance in Bling Ring?
No. But there are some shots in The Bling Ring that I like. I like that exterior house shot. I think that's one that stuck with me to this day. But I think both of these movies helped A24 because it was like, again, taking the Harry Potter star, taking the Disney stars, and like being belligerent with them, and it got people's attention. It's like a tantrum that the studio threw in order to be able to get on the map, and I think it worked. But it's gonna have to be a sweep for Spring Break.
Spring Break. It's also an A24 strategy of working with distinctive filmmakers and kind of empowering them. Harmony Korine and Sofia Coppola are like good people to attach yourself to if you have a young film company.
Yeah.
Oh, right, baby.
Let's move forward to The Spectacular Now versus Enemy. Another one of pretty solid filmmakers, James Ponsel with The Spectacular Now, but this is early Denis Villeneuve, or Yeah, so it's...
That was right.
Thank you. I always feel like I'm doing that one wrong. Art, I know Denny's your guy. Is Enemy the winner of this matchup?
Yes.
No love for Spectacular Now?
Oh, I love Spectacular Now.
Yeah.
I love Enemy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Amanda, do you like the Spectacular Now more than you like Enemy?
I hated Spectacular Now the first time I saw it.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
I recently rewatched it and did like it quite a bit, but it's definitely still going to Enemy. Spectacular Now, man, I just have like this weird thing of people. I had the same issue with like fucking Adventureland when I first saw it, and I don't know, I've changed, but like just teenagers drinking unabashedly and like driving, and then like nothing really happening. Like something does happen in Spectacular Now, but like not really, and I'm like, this is not a good thing to put out there. Like, you're trying to tell me that this kid is fucked up. You've got to do something with that if you're going to tell me that this kid is fucked up. Like, yeah. But I do like it. I do like it quite a bit seeing it again, but I think Enemy still takes it.
He is fucked up, and that's why I'm going to go with the Spectacular Now. I think it's still like maybe Miles Teller's like best performance, and I know Whiplash
Fantastic
is out there. I think
performance.
he's
Yeah.
really good in
He
the
is really
Spectacular
good.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
But it's
Yeah.
Danny, bro.
Yeah.
Zach just doesn't like
Danny,
spiders.
I don't. You know, actually, I have a weird story about Enemy, in that the first time I watched it, I was in a hotel that had this really bad, terrible contrasty TV. So the spider comes out at the end, but I didn't see it because the screen was just kind of black in that area.
No.
So I just was like, I had no idea what the ending of that movie was about.
Wow.
Zach had his eyes closed for Spider-Verse. Anytime.
Under the
that's
Skin
bad.
versus Locke, the Jonathan Glazer film, versus Tom Hardy in a car by himself, the movie. A really interesting, really distinctive film, and one of the, again, early bits of evidence that A24 was backing unconventional visions from the filmmakers that they empowered. So, Art, are you going with Under the Skin here or Locke?
Under the Skin. It's not even a movie that I'm infatuated with, but I respect the director. I think there's a lot of interesting things. I see this being a movie that grows on me more and more with every rewatch that I've had with it. I think the performance is great. Locke is a movie that I don't think is bad. But they got the man on discount. My man was sick, and he owed a favor, and that's exactly how I feel about the movie Locke. And I love quote-unquote bottled films, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Locke is pretty cool, but I just feel like it's like an interesting idea more than it is like a great movie. And,
Yep.
you know, there's things about Under the Skin that I don't know if I fully have wrapped my head around, but there's so much about it that is kind of like haunting and burned into my brain. Some of the visuals,
sir.
Mika Levy's score in particular is just like one of the
Yeah.
great recent film
good.
scores.
It might be one of the best scores in this bracket, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and
yeah,
this is
maybe.
a bracket full of good film scores, so maybe we'll have to decide that next. So I think we can go with Under the Skin
Yeah, it's
in
another
this
sweep.
round. Yeah.
Not a fan of Locke, Amanda?
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, and this
It's
is
even better. Don't.
this is actually the only matchup we have where Amanda hasn't seen either of these, so it's down to you and I to decide between A Most Violent Year and While We're Young. And I kind of think I know where you're going, Arturo, because I know
Yeah.
you're not a big fan of
Yeah.
While We're Young.
No, I don't hate it. But, dude, that pairing between them in A Most Violent Year is great. Now,
Yeah.
be serious, Zach. I know you like Ben Stiller.
I like try to defend While We're Young. I think it is a very charming movie with like very charming performances from the movie stars in it. I kind of love A Most Violent Year. I think that's a really underrated
Thank you.
movie. Oscar Isaac
Yes.
and Jessica Chastain both are so good in it, and just the like moodiness of it, the way it's shot. Also, I think this is another Bradford Young shot film, if I'm not
Yes, sir.
mistaken.
Yep.
Oof. Yeah, I mean it's amazing film. I think really underrated. So I'll give that my vote to Most Violent Year in that matchup.
Have that one on your watch list, Amanda. It's pretty good.
I will.
All right, next up is Ex Machina versus The End of the Tour. I think The End of the Tour is another one of the kind of underrated films in the A24 overall. I haven't been super motivated to revisit it, but I remember feeling when I
Really?
first watched it, it's like it's like the perfect kind of like sleepover conversation, the kind of like late night existential conversations you'd get into with good friends. It just full of great things like that. But people really love Ex Machina. We were just talking to Elliot from Movie Files for other recordings, and he was saying that
right
Ex Machina might be his favorite A24 movie. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I might go Ex Machina here. Amanda, do you feel similarly?
I missed End of Tour. It's the one I wanted to catch up with today, but didn't get a chance to, because it seems like I'd love it because I love both those lead actors. But Ex Machina would probably still be hard to beat. I think that's a really fantastic movie. I think that's Garland really firing on all cylinders. So for sure.
Arturo, how about you?
I remember Ex Machina. I remember your review for End of the Tour. Like, that's how long we've known each other.
Damn.
That's wild.
Yeah, our
I didn't even know it existed. I'd never heard of that movie. Sorry.
Our friendship, no. Our friendship is about as long as A24 has been.
An A24 bracket.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Damn. I feel very old now. Anyway, let's move on to Room, the first A24 film to win an Oscar for that Brie Larson performance, versus The Witch, which is the debut of Robert Eggers, who's evolved into one of our more interesting filmmakers. Amanda, which one of these films are you going with?
Oh, it's hard for me, oddly enough.
Yeah, it actually is.
You know what? I am going to give some much-deserved love to Brie Larson. Let's go. Everybody on her tail. I love Brie. Let's go. We'll give it to Brie.
Nice. One for Lenny Abrahamson. I feel like I think I got that right. Maybe.
Yeah.
Art, how about you?
Right now. Yo, like I really messed with Room when it came out. I thought it was an astounding performance by Brie Larson. I mean, it introduced us to the boy. It was named Luca himself.
Tremblay.
Tremblay himself.
The thing is, The Witch is a really good movie. Like it showed right off the gate how good
Homie had it.
that he was going to be here for this long.
Yeah.
And Anya's performance in there, Innocent's performance in there is one that I always go back to as well as the father figure. This is actually pretty difficult for me because a couple of years ago, in the year that these two came out, I would have said The Room easily. That just shows you how much the Vivitch has grown on me.
I also call it the Vivitch. Let's go.
You have to.
I should have spelled it that way.
People get so mad. People are like, it's the witch, and I'm like, I'm fucking aware.
Grow up. Come on now.
Grow up.
Look, I'm gonna go with Room as well, unless you can convince me otherwise. Zach.
You know, I don't really. I feel kind of conflicted as you do. I think they're both strong movies in different ways. I think that Brie Larson performance is like really, really great, and I just not to be negative after you were positive about her, Amanda. I just wish she would give us this mode a little bit more often.
Yeah, she's been going like straight up like, give me them franchises. Let's go.
Exactly. She's definitely capable of a lot more, and this movie is evidence of that. I think The Witch is a really distinctive movie and beautiful in a lot of ways. I also just feel like I enjoy the movies that he's gone on to make since then a bit more than this one.
That's fair.
Wait, really? This is my favorite of his.
Really? More than
that's one of the reasons why I feel like, how am I going to knock out his best movie? Amanda, I know you're rewatching all the Fast movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen her performance in Fast X?
For the first time.
Oh. Have you seen her in Fast X yet?
I did. I loved her.
You got there already?
I started with Fast 10 and then went back and watched them all. I thought she was great. The fucking shotguns, like shots, like... Let's go,
How
Queen.
we went from her in Room to that?
I know.
I don't even know.
But I'm so down for it.
Damn, they make a lot of good movies. This matchup's crazy too.
Yeah, our next matchup is Green Room versus The Lobster. Jeremy Saulnier versus Yorgos. Was this the English language debut of Yorgos Lanthimos? I think it was, right?
Could be. Yeah, because Dogtooth was still foreign language or I should say international.
Yeah. Art, where are you going between these two movies?
Dogtooth is my favorite of his, so I feel a little less bad. But I know that The Lobster was like the thing that put a lot of people on his radar, or him on their radar. But I'm a big Green Room defender, bro. I think that movie's raw. I'm gonna go Green Room.
Me too.
Really?
That punk attitude, man. Like I just
I was about
vibe
to-
with it.
yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
I knew that scene, like not to that extent, but like
Mm-hmm.
that's like kind of a very realistic demographic of what, like, if you get really strong punk communities, like where there's going to be the outliers and what they're going to be like. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
So like I vibe with it. The Lobster's
Not afraid to
great,
go there.
but yeah, Green Room, man.
I really love The Lobster, so I'm going to vote for that, but it's not because I don't love Green Room 2, because that is, as you guys mentioned, a really badass movie. I'm not disappointed to see it go into the next round as much as
Lobster, your favorite? Yorgos?
I think I'd go with Dogtooth, and I also really like The Favorite. I don't know. Lobster's great.
Lobster's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites that year, and that was like a stacked year when it came out.
Yeah. When we redo this next year, I'll pick Lobster.
All right, so let's go to Swiss Army Man, the debut of Daniels versus American Honey from director Andrea Arnold. Art, I think you and I did
already
an
know.
A24 bracket several years ago on this channel when a lot fewer of their classic movies had come out. And we just came to the decision that Swiss Army Man was our favorite A24 film.
favorite.
Then, is it still one of your favorites?
Easily, Zach, I think we put it at number 1 during a period in time where we got a lot of backlash going, really? This movie? And now magically, something must have happened, but I believe it had a Rotten Tomato score. And I don't know, there was a change of mind that happened since our last bracket. And it turns out we've been validated. Swiss Army Man again, baby.
Yeah. Easy Swiss Army.
Not only do I still love Swiss Army Man, I think I might like this movie more than Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't know if that's
Honestly,
blasphemous to say, but I really love it.
I'd have to sit and rewatch them side to side, but like I'd be inclined to believe with you to agree with you.
Yeah, it's so
Oh,
good.
Swiss Army.
Yeah.
Moonlight, the first Best Picture winner from A24 versus 20th Century Women. I really have a soft spot for 20th Century Women. I think it's a very touching coming of age film. But it's Moonlight, man. Like, this was the thing that got Barry Jenkins on so many people's radar. It's such a tender, beautiful movie. I can't see it losing this matchup.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Moonlight.
Let's move on to Good Time from the Safdies versus It Comes at Night. Who's the director of It Comes at Night again?
Stop, bro. Be for real.
Trey Edward Schultz, my guy.
Our boy. I'm
disrespect
still
the
thinking
boy,
about
the
Waves.
Schultz.
I'm still thinking about
Out
Waves.
of all the movies you mentioned in the honorable mentions, Chris should have been on this list as well. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to leave it at 1 for It Comes at Night, even if you guys disagree. I mess with that movie heavy.
Yeah,
I know it had
love
bad
Trey Edward
marketing.
Schultz.
Terrible marketing.
It
Yeah.
did have terrible marketing.
But I think it's really good.
Amanda?
I like them both. I really do like them both. Damn, I always feel bad for It Comes at Night because of how they marketed it. But,
Right.
Yep.
Shit, man. Okay, I'm going to make Zach be the tiebreaker. I'm going to go for Good Time for my boy Arpats, my boy Edward Cullen.
I mean, it might be his best on-screen performance. I know that you'd probably go with Twilight, but
I would.
he's so good in Good Time. And
He's got
I
the
gotta
feralness
say,
in this too.
I love the Safdie anxiety-filled energy. I just like there's something about that dynamic in films that I really, really respond to. I mean, these are both like anxiety-provoking movies, but I just respond to the depiction a little more in Good Time. So
That's fair. I ain't
I'll
happy
go with
about
that
it.
one.
'Cause, yeah, I like them both. This is one of those ones that no matter what was winning, I was going to be like, aw.
yeah. I
Yeah.
really enjoy both those movies, but I think I like, or at least appreciate, maybe is the better word for Good Time a little bit more. All right, a Ghost Story versus The Florida Project. Some again the great filmmakers, the great modern filmmakers, talking about David Lowery and Sean Baker for this one. Arturo, which one of these movies do you like more?
I think I'm going to go with The Florida Project.
Yeah. I feel like you enjoyed A Ghost Story a lot when you saw it at Sundance, right?
I found the pie eating scene to be very interesting, and while I knew
It's
it wasn't a
it's a bit
movie that I
indulgent.
was, Yeah, it wasn't gonna be a movie that I was gonna be able to like pitch to everybody. It's when I really went down my David Lowery binge because I just found the way he shot the movie to be so fascinating. To me, there's a lot of humor in it, especially because of having an actor who had just won an Academy Award be under a bunch of sheets, acting through subtitles, was just like who thinks of this stuff. Plus, to me, as we've been Sundance buddies for like the longest time now. A ghost story to me is a definition of the next category, and I remember that being what I attach any movie playing in that lineup to. So that's why it's a standout to me.
Yeah, just in terms of a bold experiment, I think it's really, really interesting and thought-provoking and has some very, very beautiful moments in it, like unexpectedly beautiful moments. But I just I think the story of Florida Project is a little bit more coherent for me. And I really respond to Sean Baker's style. The performances, like you mentioned, Brooklyn Prince is just so captivating in that movie. So yeah, I'm going to go with Florida Project. Amanda, do you like A Ghost Story?
Ghost Story is my win, is my pick. So it loses, but it's my pick.
Nice.
What
do you like about A Ghost Story?
I don't know. There's just something about there's just something about how it handles just like that idea of permanence and life and stuff. I don't know. There's just something about it that's just really struck me. I guess it hit me in the right way when I saw it. I haven't revisited it in a while, but yeah, I think that, I don't know. It just hit me. It hit me in the right way at the right time.
Yeah, what was that name of that like vampire movie with Noomi Rapace that was at Sundance?
You're Not Alone?
What was it?
You're Not Alone?
Yeah, You Were Not Alone.
Yeah.
Like I think it has a similar vibe to A Ghost Story in the way that it just sort of like floats through life in like an unconventional time path.
You won't be alone.
You won't be alone. Yeah, I that's something that I really do appreciate about that film. The Killing of a Sacred Deer, another Yorgos entry versus Lady Bird, the Greta Gerwig classic. Killing is probably my least favorite Yorgos movie. I know it has its defenders out there. Yeah. But I do love that Barry Keoghan performance. He's
so annoying.
Yeah.
He's so like devious in that movie. Just the spaghetti eating alone is so good. I'm gonna go Lady Bird in this matchup.
Same.
Amanda?
I like them both quite a bit actually, but I probably have to give it to Lady Bird. Yeah.
We're so cliche. Barbie in theaters July.
All right, let's talk about The Disaster Artist versus First Reformed. The Disaster Artist is, of course, James Franco's recreation of the making of The Room, a celebrity-filled film starring him and his brother Dave, versus the Paul Schrader global warning anxiety film about Ethan Hawke's doomed preacher in First Reformed. Disaster Artist is like, it was like a pretty charming, somewhat funny movie when it came out. I feel like there's not much that ages great about it, and it doesn't really like hold a candle to the legacy of The Room. It just kind of like a silly celebrity experiment, but like doesn't add anything to it. So I don't know. Even though I enjoyed The Disaster Artist, I feel like First Reformed is just like constantly in the back of my head telling me that things are not going to be okay and the future is bleak. So I'm going First Reformed.
Same. That's easy win. Gotta love it.
Do you remember when they won the Globe for a Disaster Artist and he told Tommy Wiseau that he couldn't speak?
I do not remember
Screw
that.
James Franco. So if you search up that win, bro, he annoyed me so much.
And that's the number one reason.
That's the number one reason. And then he got canceled right before the next Golden Globe. So that's what he gets.
All right, so I think we've arrived at our first real heartbreaking first round matchup because we've got Ari Aster's feature debut, Hereditary, versus the Bo Burnham film, 8th Grade. Amanda, I will have you go first.
This one is rough because, like, I wasn't that 8th grader, but, like, it felt so authentic. Like, I don't understand how Bo Burnham, as an adult man, captured the modern 8th grade experience so effectively and then got actors who could actually pull that off. But Hereditary is just kind of one of those movies that like once you see it, you're never the same again. Like it just does something to you. I've only seen it once, and it's like there are just scenes in that movie that are burned into my brain forever, and I don't even think I loved it. I prefer Midsommar, but I think I have to give it to Hereditary just for like the just overall effect it's had on the landscape of horror in general, and then just the unique traits that Ari Aster brings to his filmmaking, better or worse, whatever you enjoy.
Art, I still remember you reporting back from Sundance after having seen Hereditary, just like telling me I was going to be shaken to my core. Are you going to go with it, or are you going to go with 8th Grade? Because I know you love Bo Burnham too.
Love Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham even got a shout out in the latest season of The Bear, which just a random note out of nowhere. But it has to be Hereditary. I remember when I came out of it, and I've never overhyped a movie that much, and I wouldn't even call it an overhype because I think it delivered. Everyone who was like, you're out of your mind. It ended up every year, I think, becoming an even better horror movie that every festival has been clamoring to have their midnight movie have the rollout that film had.
Yeah, I'm going to give at least one vote over to 8th Grade. As Amanda was saying, sure. I just think the depiction of like the awkwardness and anxiety is so like true and lived in and just feels real, but also modern. You know, I think a lot of filmmakers, rather than like dare themselves to depict like the current day, return to period pieces in order to like go to something that they feel like they have a familiarity with, and that Bo Burnham would transport himself not just like to the modern day but to Elsie Fisher's perspective. I just thought it was like really, really remarkable and holds up for me, but it's hard to argue against Hereditary. Yeah, they are both films that age great, and both films that, you know, in another bracket could have maybe made the final four, but we will go with Hereditary and move on to mid-90s from Jonah Hill versus Climax from Gaspar Noé. Basically the same movie, right? Arturo, which one are you going to go with?
Look, I'm going mid-90s. I know it's got a lot of baggage, and the one where people get drugged does not, but mid-90s is my pick between these two.
Amanda?
I'm also going mid-90s.
Oh, thank God. Thank the Lord.
Oh, man. All right, so
thank the A24 gods.
I'll give one vote to Climax. I mean, we're a lot of these movies, we've described them as, like, anxiety-provoking, but less... This is the movie that is the closest to feeling like a bad drug trip that maybe I've ever seen. It just
too effective.
Spirals out of control.
I don't like that feeling. I don't like it.
Me neither.
That's
Thank you,
totally fair. Totally fair.
When we had the preliminary with the patrons, they were all drinking that Kool-Aid. They loved that movie, and it's too much. It's too much for me. I can't.
Yeah, I can't do it.
All right, we are halfway through the first round and into a more modern... actually one more left. Under the Silver Lake versus, we combined them, the Souvenir 1 and 2. Double bang for your buck. But yeah, I think because we combined both this and some horror movies later, we were able to squeeze 66, 67 A24 movies into this. So is the combo of Souvenir 1 and 2 enough to push it over your beloved Under the Silver Lake, Art?
I thought you were going to say me, because it's also my beloved Under the Silver Lake.
Bro,
I forgot
Virtual
that you
High
loved that movie.
5. Yes. Hell yes. Let's talk about it. Sorry, Zach. Under the Silver Lake is underappreciated, okay?
Yes.
I think that in due time, people are going to go back to it. I think it had a terrible rollout. I think it is a full committed performance by Andrew Garfield, even if you despise what the movie is going for. I was telling both of you all how Blackberry director went on a full rant about Beau is Afraid and randomly threw strays at Under the Silver Lake. I'm telling you, Zach, in due time. I saw y'all were logging it. I don't know if it was... your first time watching it, but I felt like you had already seen it.
No, this is one of two movies I hadn't seen before did the bracket, so I caught up with it last night, 2 nights ago.
Yeah. Like I have a diary. Yes.
I love that shit.
I dug it. It's like obvious, like frustrating in ways that I think are very intentionally frustrating, right? Like it reminded me a lot of the experience of watching Inherent Vice, where in order to make you
My Inherent Vice,
feel as lost as he does, they kind of take you down paths that lead nowhere. But it stimulates the conspiracy theory feeling, that rabbit hole feeling, better than most things I've ever seen.
I knew what it was doing, and I was still kind of like, ooh, this is on this pizza box, and we're going to do that,
Yes.
we're going to do that. Like, I'm playing the game, and I know that I shouldn't
awesome.
be. I love it.
All right, so no love for the Souvenir movies.
My only memory of the Souvenir right now is when it was like the one movie I couldn't get into at Sundance, and you guys had seen it, and I was like, maybe I'll go try to see it on my last night, and all of you were like, no!
I don't
Zach
like
is
the
a
Souvenir
big fan of
part
two.
1. I really enjoy part 2. I was so surprised because I didn't enjoy part 1.
Fair.
All right, let's move on to The Last Black Man in San Francisco versus Midsommar.
Damn.
I know a lot of people really love Midsommar. It is a great film. It maybe is Ari Aster's best film, in
I
my
think it's his
estimation.
I think it's his
Damn.
best.
Okay.
I really love Joe Talbot's film, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I think it is just like such a beautifully orchestrated piece of filmmaking, not only because the orchestration from, I believe it's Emile Mosseri, it's just like one of the greatest film scores ever, would be my pick for best A24 film score. But just the way that it tries to like, it sort of makes the story of San Francisco and it evolving really a part of the plot here. It's just like a movie of like such deep beauty that I feel like is so rare. So even though I feel like it's about to lose this matchup, I would have to stick my flag in for The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Beautiful cinematography too. I didn't mention that. What amazing cinematography.
Art goes first.
I record in my closet upstairs that I turned into a booth, and the map of The Last Black Man in San Francisco is the first thing you see when you open it. But the first thing I think about in the morning is how messed up Midsommar is. And as a fan of Hereditary, I never thought that after a certain amount of rewatches, that would get up there. And it's the reason why I put someone as great as Jordan Peele and Ari Aster, and I know that they've come out at the same time. They're always being connected alongside Eggers. But Midsommar, like Nope, are movies that with more rewatches get better and better and better, and they're instant classics. Midsommar for me.
Amanda.
This is rough. I do really
Florence
like
Pugh.
both so much, but I do find myself thinking of Midsommar a lot more, and maybe that just has to do with Ari Aster being more in the public. But like, I'm sorry, her performance, like Florence,
It's
oh my
great.
god,
It's great.
knowing she went right from that to Little Women,
Little Women?
just like literally like gets on a plane when Midsommar's done in Boston. That movie's already filming, and she's got to go.
Crazy. And then
amazing.
Yelena.
Yeah, I mean, I love Midsommar as well. As much as I do love Last Black Man in San Francisco, I can't really argue with you there. Another couple of classics, though, in this matchup, The Farewell versus Waves. We've spent so much time talking about Waves on this show. I'm still
Not
talking about Waves. Not enough. Are you going to go with the Trey Edward Schultz movie here?
You know, it really sucks because The Farewell is really great. You know, I made a whole LME on it, how I felt it was like one of the most impactful movies in terms of having, you know, because we've added a dozen since then, but The Farewell, early on, especially for A24, was that movie that was covering somebody who was between both, you know, their home country and back here in America, and the idea of having that broken English, and just, I mean, the premise of lying to the grandmother that they're dying.
Mm-hmm.
Absurd.
I hate that it has to go up against Waves, but this is the Waves podcast here, so I'm gonna have to stick with Waves.
Amanda, are you going to defend The Farewell, or are you also going to go with Waves?
I am gonna defend The Farewell. I'm giving
Fair.
it. I loved Waves a lot, and like what it did and that mid shift I was not expecting. But like I don't know, man. Farewell spoke to me.
I really love The Farewell as well. I just one of the films that really hits me close to my heart, and I don't know. This is like one of the hardest calls for me to make here. I kind of want to go Waves.
Frank
Like,
Ocean.
there's so many. I feel like there's so many people that come for Waves that we gotta stick our flag behind the
Yes, sir.
things that we love
Go
about this
for
film
it.
because
Yes,
it's so bold and so daring in what it's attempting and what it's trying to say. I think I don't know. I think there's just a lot to really, really appreciate about the filmmaking in Waves. So I'm gonna go with it at least in this round, but
That's okay.
we will see. We'll see.
Farewell's great. You know, it's the one movie where people who even have beef with Aquafina go, yeah, well, you know, she did great.
She
in
did
that
it
one.
well. She did good.
She's
There.
great.
She
in
did
the
it
Farewell.
Yeah.
We need to see that side of her a little bit more. I'm surprised we haven't really
Yes.
seen
Yes.
it since.
Stop
Yeah.
working with Disney. Go back to A24, please.
Yeah. Guess they don't pay as well as Disney. I don't know. Uncut Gems versus First Cow. You know, I think First
Damn.
Cow brought us so much joy early in the pandemic, and like I have so much like warmth towards that beautiful little Kelly Reichardt movie. But it's Uncut Gems, so I'm
It's
gonna go with
Uncut
Uncut
Gems.
Gems.
I know.
God.
I know. Zach, we should have screwed around with her. Give it 2-1.
I don't know what it is. I just don't. Reichardt, I don't get it. I don't like it. She's not for me. Sorry.
You have this thing against white female filmmakers, and it needs to stop, Amanda.
Yes, my Lady Bird pick really shows that I have a thing against white females.
Did you like her last one? I know you
No.
had mentioned it.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It was the one. It had the
we
most
agree on that.
walkouts of con last year, and I was like, I was tempted, but it was like, it's not terrible. It's just like, there's so many other things that I could be doing, that I could be watching, that I could be living.
I
that
love
could
that
be-
little movie, man. Showing
Dude,
up so cute.
Do I know everybody? Like, that's what I'm saying. I just what I mean.
I would like to-
She is not for me. That is the thing. It's just Kelly Reichardt. Is not for me.
Yeah.
Kelly Reichardt
offense to her.
superhero movie coming out. No, Kelly Reichardt Twilight prequel.
Because I was gonna say, if she had done Eternals, I'm like, that tracks. But like, no.
Saint Maud actually got on the bracket.
Oh, it did
I
make on the
forgot about
list.
that.
What-
Yeah.
what witchcraft is
unfortunately,
this?
unfortunately, it's up against
That
Minari,
sounds
so I'm
right.
choosing Minari.
It might as well not be
Didn't
here.
bring it up yet. Minari, that was the fastest
Let's
one.
go.
Damn. Amen.
Zola versus The
Ooh.
Green Knight. Two
Wow,
really
wow, wow.
distinctive
Okay.
films. One from Janixa Bravo, the other from David Lowery. Art, which way are you going to go?
Damn. Wow. Okay. Green Knight's really, really good. I own 2
Yeah.
copies of Green Knight. Zola's really, really good.
Yeah.
Is that a vote?
I don't know, bro. I'm thinking out loud. You know, if Zola had the ending, boom, it's Zola.
I know,
But
right?
it doesn't have the ending. And Green Knight has so much going for it in its production and the way that it was shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Zola because I think you guys might go Green Knight.
Yeah, you read me. I'm going to go Green Knight.
Yeah.
Zola's great. I really love Zola. And I think even its like sort of shrug of an ending in retrospect, it's not that bad just because like the journey is so much fun to get there.
Yeah.
But I love The Green Knight. I think it's so beautifully crafted and so haunting and is able to feel modern in a way that a lot of those fantasy films don't feel modern to me.
Yes.
So I'll leave it to
Yeah.
Amanda to break the tie.
Yeah, it is really interesting in that it's basically told as if it is like an epic where like things will just happen. He'll just have a weapon that he didn't have one scene to the next because it's supposed to be a visual representation as if you're reading this actual like the Sir Gawain story. The
Yeah.
whole idea of honor. I think I enjoyed watching Zola more, but I think I like what the Green Knight is going for more. So I do not know. This is actually really hard.
Right? I'll give Green Knight
shit.
this. Really good Barry performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I also love the way that Zola does the whole like that's not how it happened and then like tells it from like a different perspective.
Zola does have cousin Greg saying, "These are the type of movies I want to make."
And I
Yeah,
know you
that's
love a
what I'm
montage
saying.
of dicks, Amanda. I know that's your
You're
favorite
right.
part.
You're right. Never mind. Green Knight. Give it to Green Knight.
Green Knight
Alright,
had a
so-
lot of wood too. Just putting that out.
You're right. Fuck.
Yeah, that's one thing that Zola didn't have is the cum shot. So we'll go with Green Knight.
Go back,
in that
Zach.
match.
Go back. No, I'm joking.
Let's move on to Come On versus The Humans. I really
your duo
love that.
right here.
Yeah, I really love that Joaquin performance, and Come On really, really touched me. I thought it's just a really beautiful film about the wonder and confusion and pain of the world. I think The Humans is also just like one of the really underrated A24 films. I kind of fought hard to make sure it would get in this bracket. So I think I'd be kind of like betraying myself if I don't at least throw it a vote here. But I don't know. I don't feel great about it because I love Come On, Come On as well. Art, I know you're a fan of Scar's Pizza, so I feel like you're going to go with Come On, Come On in this matchup.
You know, I think the performances in Come On, Come On stand out more, but I think the script in The Humans is what I really enjoy about it, and I think that's been a big split for a lot of people, is that they're like, if they would have seen it as the play, which I believe is what it was, they might have connected with it a bit more. There's that one line that Stephen Yoon says about like the monsters and who the real monsters are to each other. I love that line so much, but I'm gonna even it out with Come On, Come On.
All right, Amanda, in the hot seat.
I
changed my mind. The kid was so annoying. The Humans.
Really?
I'm not even kidding.
Oh man,
I'm not even kidding, bro.
Yeah, I'm
love
gonna
that
give
kid.
it to The Humans too. Then I did actually really like it. And you know what? I was like, wow, Amy Schumer can act and not be terrible. So
Yeah, she can surprise you sometimes.
she's really good in that movie. Yeah.
She's good at reading other people's lines.
Let's talk about Red Rocket from Sean Baker versus The Tragedy of Macbeth from a Coen brother, not the Coen bros, just Joel. I just want them to get back together. You know, the trailer for Ethan Coen's new movie came out, and it looks really fun, but it also looks like slight in a way that their collaborations don't. And like it's clear, like Joel is the super self-serious one, and Ethan is the good time. And if they meet in the middle, they make amazing movies. I'm still looking forward to that one
to
though.
make sure it wasn't E10 Coen.
Yeah, exactly.
Out there, but damn, bro.
Yeah.
But Red Rocket versus Tragedy of Macbeth. I actually like Tragedy of Macbeth quite a bit. I think it's a pretty cool and very beautifully photographed telling of the Macbeth story. But Red Rocket just has a certain quality to its character study that I find really indelible. Sean Baker really loves to focus on these kind of like outsidery people. And Simon Rex is just so good in Red Rocket, just like an amazing performance. Yeah, maybe too authentic.
That's been the trend of him this year. He's a little too good at that. A little too good at that.
He's lived it. So I'm gonna go with Red Rocket here. Amanda, are you going with Macbeth or Red Rocket?
I think I'm gonna go with Red Rocket. I feel like it kind of has the works of like one of those things. I feel like in like 10 years, people will probably like be watching this and like getting something from it a lot more than, not that Macbeth is bad, but just I think people will get something out of Red Rocket. Yeah.
I mean, it's a slice of modern life versus another telling of Macbeth.
Yeah.
The girl in Red Rocket, Susanna's son.
Yeah.
It tracks that she'd be in The Idol.
Yeah.
I'm going Tragedy of Macbeth.
Damn, that's fair.
All right, let's go with After Yang versus our next collab slot. I don't know what we even want to call these. X and Pearl and Maxxxine. We haven't even seen Maxxxine, but we're putting it on the bracket anyway. Art, are you gonna go with Kogonada or Ty West's trilogy?
After Yang. I'm a firm defender of After Yang.
It's a beautiful, beautiful film.
We saw it together.
Throwing another one on there.
Yeah.
Throwing the rest of his filmography in there. After Yang.
Yeah, easy After Yang. I'm not even looking at X and Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy those films, but I also think they're probably some of the worst ones that we have on this bracket. If we're being real
I like
honest.
the ideas in it, but they're ideas.
Yeah. Pearl is not a good movie. I'm sorry, that's my hot take. Pearl is not a good movie. Pearl is a good 15-minute short.
Marty's texting me right now. He can't believe it.
It's a good 15-minute short. It's not a good feature-length film.
Yeah.
And now you got a trilogy.
I am excited for Maxxxine.
Let's do Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Men. Art, I know you're a defender of Alex Garland's film, but are you going to go with it over the Daniels movie?
Look, what you need to understand about Men. Everything Everywhere.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't even have the energy to defend it if I cared for it that much. Luckily, I do
No,
not.
thank you. Yeah, no, thank you.
How about Marcel the Shell with shoes on versus Bodies?
Bro, y'all better not disappoint me here.
Amanda, I feel like I know which way you're going because you enjoyed Bodies the least out of the three of us.
Yes, I'm going Marcel.
Definitely.
I thought I was going to love Bodies, so I feel like it just didn't hit the lengths of my expectations. So I am the most disappointed of us all, but yeah, it's Marcel.
I want you to revisit it soon.
I will.
I want you guys to love Bodies so bad, bro. Because to me, you know I love Marcel.
I know.
Bro.
Are we letting you down? Are we letting you down by voting Marcel?
I love Marcel.
So
but
good.
Bodies is one of the greatest Gen Z movies, in my opinion. Every actor in that film is the future. To me, when we're always talking about what's the new short-term 12 cast, it's already certified.
I think it's because Maria, I think she's not good in it. I think Maria is not good in it, is my issue with that movie. And she's who we're kind of like with the most. And I like her a lot, so I don't know I will revisit it, but like I was expecting, like I was ready to love that movie so much, and I was like decent on it. I was like, that's pretty decent.
I really liked Bodies.
Sorry. I'll watch it again because it should be my movie.
I really like Bodies. I'm with you, Art. Like, and I think it is a really good contemporary commentary, particularly like the way they use phones throughout the film.
I agree.
I'm still gonna go with Marcel the Shell. I really
love Marcel.
That
I don't want to get mad.
Little movie.
No,
it's such
I don't know what it
movie.
was because I love Rachel Sennett. You know, I turn up for Rachel, but it's just like needed more Rachel, less Maria. I'm sorry, I just couldn't get on board with her character.
You like her Borat though?
Yeah, because she works in that. And this, it felt like she was like an outlier. It felt like you are not supposed to be here in the vibe of what this movie is doing. And maybe that was the point.
She is the outsider.
That's what I mean.
That is
She's
the outsider.
But I just didn't like the way she was the outsider. I don't know if I wanted something else. I don't know. It was weird. I'll watch it again.
I hope you like it eventually.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
All right, let's talk about Funny Pages versus Aftersun. Aftersun was one of those movies that, to a certain person, it was just like one of the greatest films that's been released recently. Amanda, I think you have a really soft spot for this film, so I feel like you're going to go with it over Funny Pages.
I am, and I like a lot about Funny Pages, but it doesn't hold a candle to Aftersun. Like, I'll forget about Funny Pages at some point in the future, and I'll probably never forget about Aftersun.
Yeah, there's a lot that's really cool about Funny Pages. I particularly like how it's shot and just how grimy it feels and in a way that evokes like the comics that it's sort of based around. But yeah, Aftersun's a pretty special movie. Art, I feel like you agree with us too.
Yeah, why not?
No, nothing for Funny Pages then?
No, I like cute. Funny Pages. I thought it was cute. Yeah, it's good. But
let's go, Zach. Let's do our thing.
Oh, shit. We did have Causeway.
Sorry, Amanda. No. Say your bit about Funny Pages, because we almost took a poster that was tossed at the New York Film Festival for Funny Pages.
I liked it a lot, but I was just like, then I saw I Like Movies, and I was like, this is like the even better version of what it's going for.
I feel
you know what I mean?
Right, good
so
call
it's
out
like,
right there.
So yeah, both good though.
All right, so Aftersun wins that matchup. Let's talk about Causeway versus White Noise. I feel like a lot of people didn't really jive with what Noah Baumbach was doing in White Noise, except for me and Arturo. We really dug that movie.
10 o'clock in the morning coming out stoked, bro.
So I'm gonna vote for White Noise. I thought it was really fun. Art, are you gonna go with it as well, or because I think you actually liked Causeway more than I did?
I did. I like Causeway. I think the performances are great. Jennifer turning a new leaf, and obviously Henry getting a Oscar nom for support. His first.
Mm-hmm. His first.
So I appreciate that. But White Noise was on a vibe. Maybe it's because Zach and I didn't read the book, so we didn't have all these preconceptions. Maybe it's because we knew what we were in for, and we knew how goofy it was going to be amongst it all. I loved it. It was one of my favorite screenings at New York, and it was eerily... as it released with the train thing that actually got derailed here, almost made it like even scarier. So I'm curious to see how people revisit White Noise in the future.
I couldn't finish it. It hit a point and I was too annoyed. I don't even remember the full sentiments, but I couldn't finish it. I was like, I can't handle these people, the scenario they're in and how they're dealing with it. I actually couldn't. It hit my, if I'd been watching it at a film festival, would have made it through, maybe I'd love it. But watching it at home, I was like, can't fucking do it. And that's how I had to see it, because that's where they released it, was on Netflix.
Yep.
Couldn't fucking do it.
Even when they dance?
Yeah, you have to at least get to the dance.
That might be where I don't know. I don't remember. It's
No,
just
that's
when
the
it was
credits.
Exactly what you cut out.
Oh, okay, because my thing is just like, it's like the air raid sirens and stuff all start going off. They're like, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's the blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, what the fuck do you mean? Maybe, like, what are you doing? I couldn't
Yeah, it's like COVID.
finish it.
Yeah. I really love that movie. All right, so unfortunately for Amanda, White Noise wins that
That's
matchup.
fine, because I like Causeway, but not enough to be bothered.
It's gonna
that
beat
it lost.
Aftersun, girl.
Fuck you.
The next
No,
matchup.
there's no way. Fuck you. Oh, fuck. Okay.
The next matchup is between Darren Aronofsky's The Whale and Lucas Dont's Close. Didn't really respond to either of these movies, but I really didn't respond to The Whale,
Yeah,
so I'm
you
gonna
did
give this one Close. Art, how about you?
The Whale is losing
Whale.
too close.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I like The Whale more than you did, but it's close. Yeah, I'm sick of the gay tragedy, but also if you're gonna do the gay tragedy, do it as an interesting young character study.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who really love The Whale, and obviously
The
Brendan
Whale's a gay
Fraser.
tragedy too. Somehow,
Yeah, yes,
that's
it
what
is.
ends up being.
It is indeed a gay tragedy.
The battle of the
Fuck.
gay tragedies. Brendan Fraser obviously won the Oscars, so it kind of feels like we have to include The Whale here, even if we maybe didn't respond as much to the movie as some people did.
People did,
But
yeah.
I was on the higher end, I think. Like, I get all the critiques, and I agree with the critiques, but I guess, I saw it at TIFF with the cast. There was just something about...
Yeah.
It hit me emotionally in the scenario,
vibe, yeah.
but, it doesn't... I like Close more.
Damn, the
All
most
right,
miserable
Amanda, this
matchup.
is your nightmare matchup.
It is my
'cause
nightmare matchup, because I don't fucking like either of these. Holy shit.
Showing Up from Kelly Reichardt versus Beau is Afraid
Fuck.
from
This is
Ari
horrendous.
Aster. I know where I'm going to go, but I kind of want you to answer first.
I think I still have to give it to Beau, even though, because I really like
Yes,
the first
baby.
act. The first act of Beau is really fucking good. I just hate where it fucking goes after that. I don't
Sorry,
like
Zach.
it. I don't like it
Sorry,
at all.
Zach.
I finished that movie. I felt shell shocked, as I always do after an Ari Aster movie, but it was in a bad way. I literally went to fucking Disney World immediately the next morning. I literally got on a fucking plane and went to Florida. Because I couldn't handle emotionally what Beau is Afraid was doing, and I never want to fucking see it again. But
This movie's disgusting.
I hate
It's
it.
atrocious.
I fucking
I
hate
love
it. I hate it. Ugh, yeah, it wins.
You know what? Because I do want to say something about Showing Up, and that's that. How does it feel like it's 3 hours long when it's not? At least Beau is Afraid has different things going on with it.
Thank you. Though I will say that at
It's
the
because
2 hour mark in
life
Beau,
is
I was like,
tedious too.
Beau hit a point where I was like, holy shit, we still have a fucking hour of this. What the
Oh, in the
fuck?
theater, I would never wish that on my enemy, to go see Beau is Afraid and not be able to walk out.
Fuck,
That is ridiculous.
I hated it. Oh.
But Alita just ordered me the hat, and it's coming in soon.
I even have a free shirt. I saw a screening and they gave out free shirts. So it's
It's his pajamas?
Yeah, it's his pajamas.
Yes.
So I have that, and I'm like, fuck, I'll keep it. But I was all gung ho to make a video, and I was like, I cannot begin to emotionally engage with this ever again in my life.
Oh, I got you. I got it on VOD and everything. I'm
Hell
excited.
yeah. All right.
Showing Up is a really beautiful movie, you guys. Anyway, we move into the recent releases and a lot of movies that I enjoyed quite a bit. So let's start with You Hurt My Feelings versus Past Lives.
Wait, where was the swap? Which one was the swap?
The swap was Past Lives against Talk to Me, and I was like, you can't do that. You can't do the A24 movie that's literally changing the narrative of one of the things they're known about the most, the horror genre, and they're taking a different stand on it against Past Lives. You can't put those together.
So they're going to face each other in the next one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
At least one of them at least has to get further along.
Wait, but isn't this still correct? Didn't it go You Hurt My Feelings, Past Lives?
Yeah,
and
but
then it
originally
We slid in
Problemista.
Problemista.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably slid in Saint Maud, or Causeway was one of the ones that got. I think Saint Maud got slid in.
Oh, I got you.
account.
I got you.
Yeah,
Past Lives is
so-
one of the greatest movies on this list.
Yes, it is. It's one of the greatest movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
And I
it
love You Hurt My
feels-
Feelings.
It feels a little bit weird to. It feels a little weird to do this about a movie that a lot of people haven't yet had the chance to see, but this one might win the whole thing. And I think I loved You Hurt My Feelings more than most people. I gave that one a 4.5 on Letterboxd. But Past Lives is a great film.
Genuinely fucking moving piece of film.
Past Lives and the movie that Amanda moved us for are literally the reason we're doing this bracket.
Yeah.
For real. That's why I was like, they can't go against each other. They can't. At least this way, Problemista gets a little bit of a shout out before it gets knocked out.
Exactly. And I probably like Problemista the most out of all of us. I hope people do give it the chance. I know maybe for a lot of people it's going to be something to watch at home, but it takes risks. I think it's really good. Tilda Swinton's fantastic.
I agree.
Talk to Me is in my top 5, and it is not moving by the end of the year.
Fuck yeah, it is. Let's go Talk to Me. I love a movie that can commit to being like mean, man. Just, it's good.
Finally, new stuff. Best example. This is finally the newest release from a festival that matched Hereditary for me. And I mean,
there you go.
I
literally
like it more than
Hereditary.
I like it more than Hereditary.
Whoa, I don't know about that yet.
I think I do. Because it is more my style of horror, and I've never felt the need to watch Hereditary again in my life, whereas I wanted to watch Talk to Me like immediately again.
Yeah.
You know, I just...
Yeah, we'll give a little shout for Problemista, which is not yet out. I think it's going to be out the first week of August. So keep Julio Torres' film on your radar, because we all really, really loved it at South by Southwest.
Worth it. Yeah.
All right, so that wraps the first round. We are down to 32 A24 movies. Let's bring it back to Spring Breakers and Enemy. Arturo, you going with Denis again?
Yes, dude. Enemy.
I'm still going with Spring Breakers, but Amanda, you're going to go Enemy as well?
I am. I think Spring Breakers is approaching itself too trashy for the message it's trying to convey, but in a way, I guess that works for it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame y'all. Under the Skin versus A Most Violent Year. This one's pretty tough. I love so many elements of Under the Skin, but I think I just like the movie of A Most Violent Year a little bit more. Maybe it's like not as deep as Under the Skin is trying to go, but I can wrap my head around it maybe a bit easier. So I'll do A Most Violent Year. Arturo, which way are you going to go?
A Most Violent Year, dude. I thought I was going to be the only one.
Oh,
awesome.
Shit. I'm going Under the Skin because I haven't seen A Most Violent Year, so I can't. And I really like Under the Skin. That's a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great movie, and it's hard to vote against it, but I hope you catch up with The Most Violent Year.
I was planning. That was another one I was planning to get to today, and I just didn't have a chance.
I did swap dates on Amanda. I told her she'd have until Thursday to catch up on movies, so that is my bad.
I had done the opposite plan, but it's okay. It's cool.
All right, let's talk about Ex Machina versus Room, two very different tonally movies from A24, but two films that won Oscars. The visual effects Oscar win for Ex Machina, which I think was a bit unexpected since it's a slightly smaller budget film than what usually wins Best of Visual Effects. And then, of course, as we mentioned before, Brie Larson's Best Actress win for Room. Amanda, why don't you kick us off? Which film are you going to go with?
Oh, why would you do me first? Oh, fuck. Shit, I really like both of these, and they're both very different movies, obviously.
Yeah.
Man, I might have to go Ex Machina. Oddly enough, I think I have to go Ex Machina. I think that is
nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that. Yeah, I really like The Room, and I love Brie, but I think I'm gonna have to go Ex Machina.
Art, how about you? What you feeling?
You know, I'm an Alex Garland head, and there's a reason for it. To me, Ex Machina was when A24 really started doing this pivot to me. For me, that I mean, you just said it. These two both won Oscars. That's to me when they really started cementing themselves. I know it's not the beginning, but to many people it is, and I'm going with it all the way. Fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really love Brie Larson's performance in Room. I think I love the performance more than I love the movie.
That's fair. Yeah.
I love Ex Machina though, so I'm gonna go with that as well.
You already know what it is, bro.
Green Room versus Swiss Army Man. Is it clean sweep? Amanda, you joining us?
Yeah, I will. I love Green Room, but Swiss Army Man is, yeah.
Long live the Daniels. All right, let's talk about Moonlight versus Good Time. Barry Jenkins versus the Safdie brothers. I like Good Time a lot. I don't think it reaches the levels that Moonlight gets to. So I'm gonna go with the Best Picture winner here. Arturo, you
Same.
agree?
Yep.
I'm gonna be the chaotic vote. I'm gonna go good time.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Throw a
You can't
little
just
wrinkle.
assume that the gay person's gonna vote for the gay movie.
I assumed you would vote for the Best Picture winner because it won Best Picture.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think it's because when the whole snafu happened, and Moonlight is gorgeous. It's a beautiful movie. When La La Land lost and I watched them both back to back, I was like, I know I'm gonna watch La La Land till the day I die. I gotta be in the right mood
easily.
for Moonlight. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm gonna go good time.
Totally.
But, yeah.
All right, so Moonlight does win that one. Let's go to Florida Project versus Lady Bird. Art, which one you got?
Barbie in theaters July 22nd. Lady Bird out right now on VOD.
Yeah, I think Lady Bird is there's a good chance that it's going to be remembered as Greta Gerwig's best film, and
Yes.
people love Little
Yes.
Women, and I feel like people are going to love Barbie,
Yes.
but Lady Bird is already iconic. As much as I
Sweep.
like Florida Project, let's
Sweep.
give it a sweep. 3-0 for Lady Bird. First Reformed versus Hereditary, two movies that have haunted my soul and left me just physically and mentally unwell after watching them. I am going to go with First Reformed because I'm a lot more scared about global warming than I am about my head being taken off by a street pole. But that's just me. Art, where are you going?
Bruh, what? Hereditary is more than street poles. It is about what happens between a family whose generational trauma is pretty much the cause of horror. What happens when someone... I mean, it's Beau. Again, it's this idea of those that come before you sending down in the most intimate way. Honestly, it is about global warming. Because if your mother doesn't teach you to take care of this world by not even taking care of you, I mean, it really is the end of the world, Zach.
Yeah, except
And that
Hereditary
is what makes
was
it a horror
done
movie.
well. But
No.
dude, I'm sorry.
Hey,
man,
do you remember
Beau-
when First Reformed had a marketing campaign by A24 where if you could film yourself chugging Pepto-Bismol really fast?
It was Pepto and whiskey that they wanted you
Pepto
to
and
mix.
whiskey.
It's
The
my
mixture-
favorite drink to this day.
Hell yeah.
Amanda, that's another vote for Hereditary, I think.
Sadly, because I really do love First Reform, but again, Hereditary, I've
Wait,
only
for
seen
real?
it once, and I only needed to see it once.
Oh, I thought you were going First Reformed,
No,
bro.
I'm saying that Hereditary does.
Ooh.
He already, you know what? Beau's afraid. He already fucking did it. It's called Hereditary. He didn't need to fucking do it
Oh,
again.
thank you. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. Yes. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And I like First Reformed. I
Me too.
feel
I
like all the
really
follow-up movies that he's made, it's First Reformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke is so good
follow
in it.
movies. Yeah, but yeah, I really do love First Reform. So I'm
And
sad to
Amanda
see it
Seyfried,
knocked
dude.
out, but Hereditary is Hereditary.
All right, Art, it's a couple of your favorites on this list. Mid-90s versus Under the Silver Lake. Which one are you doing?
Same thing Amanda's doing.
Silver Lake. Silver Lake.
I'll give it a
100%,
clean
dude.
sweep. I'll join y'all with
Let's
Silver
go.
Lake.
Thank you, dude.
All right, Midsommar versus Waves. This feels a lot more difficult than the last one. Amanda, why don't you start us off?
I'm going to go for Midsommar, the only movie by Ari Aster I felt the need and desire to rewatch.
Art, look,
They're tough.
we
They're
do
you
tough.
talk
do
about
it.
Waves a lot.
They're
No, you
both
do it.
beautiful.
You do it.
You do it.
Midsommar is my favorite Ari Aster movie. I don't
Same.
know, man. I gotta go with it. I don't want to, but I have to.
It's fucking rough, man. It's fucking rough.
Have we stopped thinking about Waves?
No, I never stop thinking about Waves. I can't.
Is this the end? It's Midsommar, bro. It's a masterpiece.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
I love it as much as Hereditary. Then there's this one, but it's Midsommar, bro. Damn.
All right, let's talk about Uncut Gems versus
Oh, wow.
Minari. Another tough matchup for me, as I really love both of these movies, but I just ultimately respond so much more to the style of Uncut Gems, which is so aggressive and hard to cloud out. You know, once that movie starts, you're just on the roller coaster of Uncut Gems. And plus it features some of the maybe career best work of one of my favorite actors in Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
I'll go with Uncut Gems. Amanda, you agree with me?
I think so. I love Minari. I think it's
It's great.
so beautiful and just patient and just a genuine good story. It kind of
Very
feels
lovely movie.
very lovely in that it almost feels like the opposite vein of Farewell. It's kind of doing like, rather than taking somebody who spent their whole life in one setting and moving them somewhere else, it's taking people from one area and, you know, bringing them to America. But Uncut Gems, there is just a charm to realizing that this man, you think this man is digging himself a hole, but then you realize he's already 5 feet deep and you're just watching the last hole go down. So like, gotta go Uncut.
The whole like let's bet on it scene with Kevin Garnett towards the end of the movie, that it's just one of the best slow motion car crashes ever captured on film.
It's a hard watch. Like I understand why there's like a bunch of old people near me at TIFF that were like fumbling out midway through, and like, I get it, people. This is not what you were here for. You saw Adam Sandler and thought it was gonna be a good time.
Are you with us? That was a great TIFF.
Uncut.
He's finding something.
Oh wait, what are you digging out?
You guys left right after that.
Oh, I think I have it. I was looking for I've realized I have way too much A24 merch and it is ridiculous. So much that I can't find the puzzle of the colonoscopy that you gave me, bro.
I love that. Man, I'm upset. I have like the A24 teacups, and I'm like, why the fuck didn't I put my A24 teacups insane, right here?
No, it's like actually obnoxious how much A24 merch I realized I have, bro. Like, I think I have a puzzle up there, but I wasn't able to find the Midsommar director's cut.
So. Which is even better. Like, it's good. It's.
I just had to find where I put all my puzzles because I moved everything. Now I'm on this side over here. I will find.
All right. Let's do The Green Knight versus The Humans, a couple of films about the anxiety of living a life. I think these films sort of like scratch a similar itch to me, even though they do it in completely different ways. You know, David Lowery's film is so like visually stunning, and the details are so like the colors are so like beautifully chosen. I don't know. There's something very transportational about the experience of watching that movie, whereas The Humans is cold in like a very intentional way that really puts you in the feeling of this story. I think they're both really, really effective. I'll give a little bit more love to The Humans because again, that's one of the A24 overlooked movies for me. So I'll go with that.
What the fuck?
Amanda, am I making this difficult for you?
No, I'm going Green Knight. I did really like The Humans, but the Green Knight, there's just this whole idea of like honor versus goodness, and a man having to learn this lesson, and holy shit.
The Green Knight is probably better. It's probably better. I
can understand why people
like
fucking hate it too. It's one of those ones that I'm like, if I had to show these two movies to my parents, I know they're gonna fucking hate The Green Knight, but it doesn't mean that The Green Knight is not like a work of art in a lot of ways. But
I think it's my favorite David Lowery movie too. Art, where are you going with this matchup?
Hell yeah, you are.
Green Knight, baby.
I don't know how I didn't realize that he's the same director as A Ghost Story. I don't know how I didn't know that.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you put them together.
It does make sense when you put them together.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
All right, Sean Baker versus Kogonada. It's Red Rocket against After Yang. Arturo, are you going with After Yang on this one?
Yep.
Gang, gang.
Director-wise, what is Columbus? What
Columbus.
Was that Neon?
That's a good question. I feel like it is.
Is it Neon?
So
it is.
I don't know why I assumed it was like A24 or something, but
if it is,
because now I'm thinking about that one, wondering like if that would have been on the bracket or not. But I'm going After Yang.
It's definitely not anything big because it's not telling me.
Sundance Institute on Wiki, at least?
Yeah.
Damn, he released it himself.
That's why they play it as the test movie every year.
There you go.
Oh,
they own it 100%. Dead to rights.
Well, rightfully so, because that's that type of movie. It is a fantastic way to get in. And this, I think, put it to the next level After Yang for me. Mm-hmm. Oh, all three of us. Nice.
Sweep.
Let's talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, the movies that divided the Daniels household. Because his wife worked on Marcel the Shell. Anyway,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Amanda, are you going with the Oscar winner or the Oscar nominee?
I am going with the winner. I think. Yeah.
I'll join you with that. Are you also going to go with Everything Everywhere?
Marcel.
Ooh. Okay.
So that means do you like Bodies more than Everything Everywhere All at Once? Which would be totally fine.
Yes.
I can see why. Cool.
Yes.
That's totally fine. I need to watch it again because I am upset that I don't like Bodies as much as you. Like, I'm genuinely upset about it.
I just want people to join in the love.
I wanted to. Okay. Fuck,
Speaking of joining in the love, it's Aftersun
You
versus
can't
White
do
Noise.
That's
this.
bogus, bro.
You can't fucking do this. Aftersun
what
is
movie are you going
beautiful.
with?
Noah Baumbach made a film in 2022 that really encompassed the pandemic and family and really capitalism as a whole. And I'm going White Noise.
Are you really going White Noise here?
Thank God, Zach. Please, for the love of God, be on my side. Charlotte Wells, man, Aftersun. This glimpse of a childhood past. This trying to get to the bottom of a situation she never could have understood when she was a child, looking back at it now versus whatever the fuck Noah Baumbach was trying to do after Marriage Story. You can't.
Like, I could troll and go White Noise here. I wouldn't.
You
feel
don't even have to
terrible
troll.
about
Just
it.
listen to your heart.
Don't do it. Come on, man.
I kind of like Aftersun, man. Aftersun's a good movie.
Thank you. Come on. What are the after
Dry
cuties gonna
hair.
think? What do the after
Right?
cuties want? It's why
Yeah,
you
that's
let
the
Waves
thing.
win. It's why you gotta let Aftersun win now.
I don't
They'll
think
understand.
the Intercuties will let us live down not going with Aftersun there.
Hey, look, if they've watched an hour and 17 minutes, they're chill.
Amanda, are you going with Close over Beau's Afraid?
Yeah, I fucking am.
All right, well, Art and I are going Beau's Afraid, I think.
That's fine.
Hey, for real? Nice.
That's fine.
Let's
Sickos.
talk about the dreaded 2023 matchup.
Oh, wow.
Amanda successfully moved it from the first round to the second
Yeah,
round, but
I did what I
we
could,
gotta
man.
we gotta decide between Talk to Me and Past Lives.
Could have moved
I
it to
think-
where Spring Breakers was?
He does chronological order because he's an asshole.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
the rules are the rules, and I can't decide the rules. They're just
To be
the
fair,
rules.
Spring Breakers and the Bling Ring is a perfect pairing. You can't.
Yeah,
It
can't.
is, yeah.
Oh.
Spoiler alert, these movies are going to be on our best films of 2023
Yeah.
video at the end of the year. I think we
Yeah.
all really loved all these films, or both these films. I gotta go Past Lives, though. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Like,
That
they're
is-
both so
Yeah.
fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, Past Lives is just the type of movie that I prefer. And even though Talk to Me is like the best version of that kind of movie, the beauty in the construction of Past Lives, the way that certain lines of dialogue have resonated with me since I saw it months ago. I love Past Lives so much. So I'm voting Past Lives. Will either of you make a stand, or will you continue to ride the fence and be uncommitted?
Dude, this is
Make
tough.
a recommendation.
This is tough because both of these are movies of the style that I love. I love movies with like romantic undertones that are actually like really kind of like profound in a way that some people might think like this is just a basic life experience. Who gives a fuck? Everybody gives a fuck.
And then there's
because-
Past Lives.
And then Talk to Me, Art's talking about Bodies being like the the perfect Gen Z movie. Talk to Me is like right in there. Talk to Me is fucking right in there with
yes.
what it's doing. And it's doing it so fucking well. This is hard. This is a fucking
I like Talk to Me more than Bodies to tell you how difficult it
Yeah,
is.
that's what I mean. This is fucking tough. Because I genuinely think that Past Lives is so beautiful and just moving. And I know I think it was ahead on my Sundance list, but I want to give some love to Talk to Me, man. Like, I don't know what it is. That ending is gonna stay with me for the rest of my fucking life. But like Past Lives ending is probably gonna stay with me for the rest of my fucking life too. I actually don't know.
And Past
I'm gonna
Lives.
give it to Talk to Me.
You know, Zach told us we weren't doing our best of the year so far until Thursday, so this seems like a roundabout way.
Yeah.
You already have a listing out there, but I think I would put Past Lives ahead of Talk to Me in terms of the best of the year so
agree.
far. And
I
it's just
agree.
to showcase how strong of a year it is, how strong of a lineup A24 has had, and I am astonished that they just won the Academy Award, and they just released a movie that's probably, I don't know the math, like 3 to 4 times better than that movie.
Better.
So, and I love that movie. It's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been surprised Zach and I have been this.
Yeah, I'm going Talk to Me just because I want some love out there, and
It does
really,
deserve at least a vote here.
It's so.
Look, I want to check
good.
something here. If it's Past Lives, Talk to Me would have beat Beau. Talk to Me would have beat Aftersun.
Yes.
What's the next one up there?
Where are we going?
Yes, I would have probably. I would
Yes?
put it above. I would have put it above.
Damn.
After Yang, it's
Everything
probably like
Everywhere?
on point.
Yeah.
I would have put it above Green Knight. I would have put it above Uncut. I would put it above.
I
I
got
would have put it
Uncut
above Uncut.
I
Really?
would
Honestly,
probably
I think it
put
stops at Midsommar for me.
I'd have to rewatch them side to side. I do think Midsommar is like better overall, but like the fucking ending of Talk to Me, man, is like,
Yeah.
whoo.
The ending of
Look, I mean-
Midsommar, though.
I know,
Yeah,
I know, it's so rough, but
That should just be like evidence enough that we feel that strongly about
yeah,
that.
Talk
It
to
is
Me
really
would
one of the
go
great.
a lot further if the bracket was different, and we just need people to
Yeah.
understand that. But now at least I know that Beau's getting
Zach.
knocked out.
All right, well, we're up to the best 16 A24 movies. We'll go back to the top and talk about Enemy versus A Most Violent Year. Art, I bring it back to you. Are you going with Denis or JC?
I don't like
Chandler,
Denny.
that is.
Denny's not my favorite director. How does the line go? I'm gonna fix the line for the next one. Hopefully you guys make it. I'm going Enemy.
Enemy.
Enemy?
No way.
Both Enemy?
There's no way.
Enemy. I haven't
This
seen A Most
far?
Violent
She
Year.
hasn't seen A Most Violent Year.
So it has
I-
to be Enemy.
Yeah.
By default.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, I'll go Most Violent Year, I guess, but yeah. Amanda, catch up with that movie. It's really
I
good
will.
movie.
I was going to, but somebody changed.
I
the-
know.
Yeah.
I know. It's my fault.
And and
a-
honestly, then if we hadn't been delayed, if I had known how long the delay was going to be, I could have snuck it in there tonight. But it's okay.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's okay.
That's what you get for putting them in chronological order.
Yeah.
I know. Again, it's all my fault. Ex Machina versus Swiss Army Man. Swiss Army Man is still my running favorite. I love that movie a lot, even though Ex Machina is great. Is it a clean sweep? Amanda, you joining us still?
Yeah, I am. I do.
Yeah.
I love Ex Machina, but Swiss Army Man.
We're getting closer to a potential
Nice.
all Daniels finals.
Damn.
Moonlight versus Lady Bird, the iconic Barry Jenkins film versus the iconic Greta Gerwig film. I feel like this was kind of announced both of them as filmmakers that need to be taken seriously. Art, which one are you going to go with here?
You know, in my final years of film school, they made us watch Moonlight in every single class that I had, because every single course that I was taking made us study Moonlight. Because
Why?
technically I was taking like the second, third, and fourth year courses at the same time. I have overstudied this movie that I know it forwards and backwards, and I respect the hell out of it. Because I believe both of you are going Lady Bird, I'm going to give it to Moonlight, but I like what Zach said. I love Lady Bird. We compare Peel, Eggers, and Astor.
Yeah.
I like that comparison that you made for Barry and for Greta. They almost came in that same like XXL freshman year,
Right.
during that around that same time. So one of us has to give it to Moonlight. I'm gonna give it to Moonlight.
It does your answer change if I say I'm going to go Moonlight?
Because I'm going Lady Bird.
Stop, go Lady Bird, bro.
I was going to go Moonlight from the start. I love Lady Bird, but I think Moonlight is just like a really gorgeously put together film. I find it
Have you
breaks
listened
my
to the
heart
Chopped
every
and
time.
Screwed?
I mean, come on, man.
Bruh.
It's incredible, and again, a beautifully shot film. I would edge it towards Moonlight, but does that
fair.
change your plans?
No, not necessarily. It's my film school, damn near.
Yeah.
This was the one that made it, so it's like, yeah. But I love Lady Bird.
All right, Amanda, why are we wrong here? Why is it Lady Bird?
Again, I just sat down and I watched Moonlight and La La Land back to back, and I preferred La
You
La
got that
Land.
La La
So
Land.
if it's just like one of those things that I'm like hurt for La La Land getting the fake out.
Ooh, this
It's
is a
just
good one.
allegiance to Emma Stone.
Yeah.
All right, Hereditary versus Under the Silver Lake. I feel like everything that Under the Silver Lake goes up against is like one of your darlings, Arturo, and you just
That's
have
crazy,
to keep
right?
killing them. in order to
insane.
keep voting for Under the Silver Lake.
It ends here. Hereditary, baby.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Amanda.
go to silver. I'm gonna go silver.
Hey, she's really about Emma Stone, even with Andrew.
I'm gonna go with Hereditary as
Yeah,
well
I assumed
here.
that.
Oh, yeah.
No, I have no problem with that. I get it.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Under the Silver Lake. I appreciate the love y'all gave it this episode. Thank you so much. God bless you.
But even though I voted for Ari Aster in the last matchup, I can't do it here. Midsommar versus Uncut Gems. I love Uncut Gems. That movie is so good. Every frame of it feels perfect to me. So why are you not voting for it?
Because Midsommar is Ari Aster's best movie, in my opinion. If Hereditary is going on, Midsommar has to go on.
It has to go on, bro.
It has to go on.
It's just absolutely beautiful in every sense. I just look. There are
Midsommar
several
doesn't
movies.
have Kevin Garnett. I'll tell you that
Yeah, bro,
much.
yeah, no, you're right. But imagine if it did.
Yeah, be that much better. All right, The Green Knight versus After Yang, two really beautiful
Wow,
patient
this is actually good.
films.
Okay.
This is good.
Yeah. Art, do you have a preference?
After Yang. Yeah, After Yang.
Yang gang all the way for me.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's just a really beautiful film. I think just a little bit something about it just feels a little bit more singular to me
Yeah.
than The Green Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Aftersun. Amanda, which one of these favorites from last year are you going with?
I'm actually going to go Aftersun. I love them both.
Really?
But I think I'm actually going to give it to Aftersun. I don't know. Aftersun's just one of those ones that the more I think about, the more I'm like, man, that was really fucking beautiful self-reflection. I like that a lot.
All right, Arturo, which way are you going?
Mama's Boy. Everything Everywhere All at Once, baby.
Of course.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that as well.
That's fine.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
get and accept that.
I just love the Daniel style, even if I prefer Swiss Army Man. It's so good. All right, Beau is Afraid versus Past Lives. So, Art, we're going with Beau is Afraid?
No, please don't do this
Clean
to me. You
sweep.
can't.
Beau is
you
afraid for me.
can't.
Beau is afraid for me.
Fuck you.
Are you really going to go Beau? Because, come on, man.
Son of a bitch. You know you don't like.
You were supposed
Yeah.
to say it with me, bro.
No, fuck both. No.
I can't. I feel too obligated to actually doing the better movie. I can't, even as a
Can't do
meme, I
both.
I
can't
would have
do it.
switched it at the end, bro, but I needed those 4 seconds of when Beau
man.
thinks he should have drank it with water and he didn't.
Oh man, it's so good. If it was just the first act of Beau is Afraid, we'd have a real competition here.
Yeah. Fucking dog shit progression of a movie. Sorry.
Let's talk about Swiss Army Man versus Enemy. Arturo, you going with Denis or Daniels?
I remember the quote. I don't love Denny movies because he's my favorite director. He's my favorite director because I love Denny's movies every single time. I'm so curious to revisit how, if they even went up against each other, how this went in our last one. Because Enemy is one of those movies that I don't even know who to recommend it to. Because the way that Amanda was talking about a ghost story, where it just connects to you in a way where it's like, nah, we're not even talking about movies anymore. We're talking about like it reaching you to an emotional core that like it get really personal. That's Enemy for me. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorite performers. I think this is one of his best it's a double performance. The visuals in this, the direction in this, all of it, and the tone. Look, maybe tomorrow I go Swiss Army Man, but today I'm going Enemy.
Wow, you're going against the winner of the original A24 bracket. Amanda, you've been voting for both these movies.
I have been, and I think this is the first time Enemy is going up against something I've actually seen. But shit, I do really like Enemy, but I do also really like Swiss Army Man. Oh, this is a fucking struggle.
Hey, look, I'm happy it came this far. I never expect Enemy to ever make it this far. I'm just glad we've been able to discuss it. If you have not seen Enemy, please watch Enemy.
I like Taylor Swift. We're going Swiss Army Man. Fuck Jake Gyllenhaal.
What is it? Fearless? No, Speak Now. Taylor's version. Coming out soon.
No. That's John Mayer. It's Red. That already came out. Jake's
True,
already
my
got his
bad.
slander. He got a 10-minute version and a short film.
Oh, that's right. No, he didn't get the Don't Attack Him, right?
No, he got the
Oscar campaign instead.
He got the fuck.
Oh, damn.
All right, I'm going with Swiss Army Man as well. So that is the end of the road for Enemy. And Swiss Army Man makes the final four. Let's talk about Moonlight versus Hereditary. These are probably two of the most famous A24 movies. If you ask people, like, what is the A24 movie that you remember or love the most, these are probably going to be two of the most common answers. Amanda, which one is the one that deserves to go on to the final four?
Hereditary, in my opinion. Hereditary, like that, like I said, I seen it once, and once was actually enough. There's not a damn thing about that movie I forget.
Yeah, it is very expertly done. Arturo, is that your pick as well?
Moonlight ended my film student span, and Hereditary began this whole YouTube thing. So, yeah, Hereditary, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll throw one vote to Moonlight's way because it is such a beautifully told story in different parts, and we're also seeing the actors that we first saw in Moonlight blossom into really beautiful careers. So I don't know, I love that movie.
Jerome.
Yeah, but Hereditary is also excellent. But will Ari Aster get two movies in the final four? Midsommar versus After Yang. Arturo, start us off.
That would be crazy if Midsommar went after the other one, because I think that's what's about to happen, baby. Midsommar introduced most of the world to what I consider the next generation of the best actors working today.
That's fair.
I really love Midsommar. I like I said, I think it's my favorite Ari Aster film, so I'm gonna join you, man. As much as I think After Yang is like an achingly beautiful film and kind of presents memory in this way that I'd never considered it before, I'm just haunted by Midsommar. So that's two votes at least. Amanda, Midsommar wins this matchup, but are you going to throw some love to After Yang?
I'll toss a vote to After Yang, even though, like, if it was coming down to it, I'd vote Midsommar.
Yeah.
Good dance sequence.
Yeah.
Amazing dance sequence.
Amazing.
So, is it the winner for best A24 credits? We'd have to like dive deeper into that because Green Knight has good credits too.
It's up there.
Maybe.
Up there. All right, Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Past Lives, the Best Picture winner from last year's movies versus a probable Best Picture nominee from this year's movies. I don't want to jinx it, but kind of feels like that's going to happen. Amanda, are you going with last year's favorite or what's bound to be this year's?
Past Lives.
Yes! I agree with you. As much as I love Everything Everywhere All at Once, we were recommending Past Lives on the podcast recently, and I was singling out the I just want to do laundry. In another life, I'd love to do Laundry and Taxes with you.
Oh, so good.
And that, if you could just expand that feeling into a whole movie, it would be Past Lives.
Yeah, I actually very much agree with that statement. Yeah, oof.
Art, a clean sweep?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to see the premiere of both. Amanda and I saw Past Lives together when it premiered at Sundance.
We did.
I came out loving Everything Everywhere with 4 stars, maybe inkling to 4.5. I came out 4.5 easily.
Yeah,
now
I was going to
inkling
say,
to 5
your 4
for Past Lives.
Yeah, your 4 for Everything is low for Everything.
Is it?
Your 4 rating is low. Like,
if we go by letterbox curves, then
that is
4.5s and 5s for a lot of people.
Yeah, across the board, man.
What's the average?
Low. It's low compared to like when you, especially I think now you've gotten to like everybody that's gonna hate it has come in too, but like early on, you were low.
Oh, like everyone's giving it 5?
Yeah,
I guess I hated it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, shit, he hated it. Like I got 5, 5, 4.5, 5, 4.5. Even like YMS gave it a 4.5.
Whoa.
So right now on Letterboxd, both Past Lives and Everything Everywhere All at Once are averaging a 4.3.
With the 5s like to the fucking moon,
Yeah, on everything particularly. Yeah.
Well, I had to be a 4 because I give Past Lives a 4.5.
Hell yeah,
and
you
I
do.
took it over.
All right, so our final 4 A24 movies are Swiss Army Man, Hereditary, Midsommar, and Past Lives. We were that close to having 2 Daniels movies and 2 Ari Aster movies in the final 4.
Yeah, which is probably good we did not.
Yeah, I feel like that was maybe a good decision. So
Both
let's start it
Fred
out with Swiss Army Man and Hereditary. Arturo, these are 2 of the early Sundance loves for you. So which one are you going to go with here to make the finals?
Hereditary.
Hereditary. Any particular reason?
Yeah, I think it is a family drama that just turned itself into a horror. It's literally this movie. It's the agony and misery of Beau is Afraid done
well.
in a genre film. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Yes, I will agree. In the most effective way. And I can get way deeper into it, but I think just the themes of that generational trauma coming down, like I was saying earlier, it makes it such an exceptional movie that I think it's going to last with us a long time. I'll put it to you this way. It's up there with Rosemary's Baby to me. And I think Rosemary's Baby is a certified classic when it comes to cinema. And that's what Hereditary is going to be for generations to come.
It's hard to argue against a lot of that, and I was just trying to decide whether or not this Toni Collette performance is the best performance we have left. The Florence Pugh one's really good too, but I think the Toni Collette one edges it. All that said, I'm still going Swiss Army Man. I just really, really respond to the way the movie mixes absurd comedy and ridiculous setups with like deeply emotional moments and trauma and pain. I love that high-low mix that just feels like really effective to me. It was a revelation for me when I saw it. So I'm going to go with Swiss Army Man and leave the tough choice to Amanda.
Ooh, that's hard. Fuck, man, because I agree with everything Art's saying about Hereditary, but I also know that, like, you know what? I saw that once. I've never felt the need to watch it again. So I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I'm going Swiss Army Man.
But do you remember when Toni Collette says, "Take that face off your face"?
I do.
Don't look at me with that face on your face.
Don't look at me with that face on your face. Dude.
Really good line.
And she deserved an Oscar for that, but...
Hell yeah, she did.
Dude, but I still like Midsommar more. So, like...
That's fair.
I'm going to go Swiss Army Man. I'm sorry.
Yes,
and I really do love Hereditary. I really do, but...
Look, it won the first bracket. It had to make the finals. Come on.
I'm sorry. And now it loses. So.
All right, so we're going to Midsommar versus Past Lives. Is this recency bias, or are we going with Midsommar here?
I'm going Past Lives, I think. Man, that I lean more towards that. Just something about, like, I know that that's gonna, like, emotionally hit me every time I watch it for the rest of my life. It's just one of those things. I know it's gonna do that. And like Midsommar is gonna hit me the way it does every time, and I do like it the most out of all of his movies. But I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go with the feels. I'm going with the feels, and I feels Past Lives.
Arturo, what do you think?
We've had enough time with it, and I don't think having Past Lives win is a bad thing at all, even with recency bias, because it is that great of a movie.
It's so good.
It is going to make the tops all the time.
Yeah.
But I've had enough time with Midsommar. And to me, you were saying another movie was a certified classic? No. To me, Midsommar is what made A24 the global brand that it is now. People see flowers and they associate it with a new Midsommar movie. People who shouldn't even be watching these types of films went to Midsommar. It's the reason so many people were disappointed in this thing right here. Because they gave Midsommar a chance and still thought to give this man money for a 3-hour cut. I think Midsommar is the best A24 movie out of this bracket right now.
Really? Because I know so many people who, like, I thought more people saw Hereditary than Midsommar. And I feel like people, like, either learned their lesson or liked it and went back for more. I think that was at least here, that was the sentiment. Like, I told someone that I liked Midsommar, and then when I saw it a second time in theaters, they were there, and I had to apologize to them after that I told them it was a good movie, because I could tell how bothered they were watching it. Which is actually, like, a lot of points in its direction. But, yeah, it's rough. I wouldn't be upset with either of these winning. They're both good, and Florence, man, but...
yeah.
Again, I'm also going with time. We always say recency bias, but I think time is also a bias as well.
I do.
I am
It
going with the
definitely
longevity of that a movie has had. But Past Lives will have
Totally.
that too.
Well, that's the
I also
thing.
want to leave it to Zach.
As much as like I want to like guard against recency bias, we've seen this film like half a year ago at this point.
Yep.
Like it's been a while. We've marinated over it, and it hasn't like gotten any lesser in my mind in retrospect for me. I still just completely adore Past Lives, and maybe it is just like a personal preference in terms of the types of movies that I look for,
agree,
the types of
yeah.
movies that I really respond to. But I am gonna go with Past Lives, and I know there's people who love Midsommar who will probably feel weirdly about it. I hope you'll at least give Past Lives a chance if you haven't.
Yeah,
But look, it made our final four for a reason. It's an amazing masterpiece of a film, but I really, really love Past Lives.
Yeah.
Art, you gonna be okay with that?
I'm gonna be honest. Beau is making me look worse upon his past work.
Yeah.
Stop!
I'm
Don't say
joking.
that.
Not quite. Almost though. I'm like,
no, but it's such an audacious movie. I don't blame you for thinking that. I don't know what is wrong with him.
There's like two sides. There's like, I'm so glad
It's
that they're willing to
ridiculous.
let an auteur director just do whatever the fuck they want. And I'm on the side of
Yeah.
like, you know what? Sometimes it's good to have someone to tell you no. Sometimes it's good to tell you rein it the fuck in, dumbass.
But sometimes
I say the same thing to Quentin Tarantino now that unfortunately his main editor died. It's like somebody just needs to tell you no. Christopher Nolan, like, anyway.
Dang, bro, I'm looking at.
He's too
'cause I know he
young
has
in his
Swiss Army.
career to be that far along.
Let
too.
Ari Aster cook, Amanda.
Let him
I will.
cook, bro.
He's too early in his career to be cooking like this. Like, we're fine letting, Scorsese do his 3 hours, whatever the fuck he wants. Ari Aster is 3 movies in. He should not be there yet.
Scorsese gave him the leg up there as well.
I know.
I'm curious right now that we have Swiss Army, the previous Daniels movie, but I'm looking at that score that y'all were talking about. That is a pretty hefty curve at the end right there for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Zach, having Everything Everywhere All at Once here, considering you gave that the same score as Past Lives, would there be a difference there before we break this down?
Like, would
Because
I
we
go?
did-
Would you go Everything
Swiss Army won the
Everywhere?
last one, but as much as you've been rooting for Swiss Army Man, don't you think Everything Everywhere is the better Daniels movie?
No,
Or do you
I
think?
still,
I guess what I'm asking.
I still think Swiss Army Man is the better movie. I know I'm not necessarily in the majority there, but I just respond more to the way Swiss Army Man is put together. I feel like there's certain elements to how like scrappy and tactile and ridiculous that one is. That I don't know. It works better for me than Everything Everywhere, even though I really love Everything Everywhere. So, yeah, I'm happy to see Swiss Army Man here in the finals. Up against Past Lives, but this is a very hard decision for me.
Is this the final two?
This is the
It's
final two.
Oh, shit.
And it's not what I think most people would assume are the final two in an A24 bracket, but this is our bracket, and it is beautiful. Art, I'll let you make the first cut. Is it going to be Past Lives or Swiss Army Man?
We never got to do an A24 bracket with Everything Everywhere. I do think Everything Everywhere slights out Swiss Army Man just a little bit. And I think Past Lives is better than Everything Everywhere. So I'm going Past Lives.
I'm
But
going Past
Midsommar
Lives.
has the greatest...
No, I'm sorry. I agree. Like, it's rough. There's so many of these movies that I would easily say should be the number one A24 movie for whatever reason. Like, theoretically, Hereditary should probably be considered the best A24 movie.
Thank you, what?
Because it is the A24 movie. It is the one that, like, that everybody thinks about elevated
Zach.
horror, and they think elevated
She's changing
horror.
her.
they think
She's changing it,
A24.
Zach.
I'm
gotta bring it back up,
not,
Zach.
but it's just like it should theoretically win, even if it's not my favorite
Yeah.
A24 movie.
And on a different day, maybe it would have. And if the bracket breaks a little differently, if we put some of the movies that were honorable mentions in the bracket and take others off,
Not
it's not an
chronological.
exact science, but,
I say
but it
that
makes sense
'cause
to me.
Midsommar still would have beat it to me because I like Midsommar more than I like Hereditary, even if I acknowledge in my head Hereditary probably is like the A24 movie. But yeah, for this one, I'm going Past Lives as well. I think because I like both of these movies so much, but I do think I'm gonna
Damn.
go Past
All
Lives.
right. I don't feel bad
Oh,
about
you
Past
went
Lives
for
winning this
Swiss
bracket.
Army.
I assumed he was
Somebody's
going
got to
to
represent the
Yeah.
winner of the last bracket, man. I loved Swiss Army Man.
It was
I don't
good.
know if like
Sure.
you asked me to pick my favorite A24 movie and you gave me all 64. I don't know if I would choose it, but given the way this broke down, I don't know, man. I just have such a soft spot for Swiss Army Man.
Same.
Past Lives is the better movie. I don't know. It's a little
Warriors
bit ridiculous.
won last year.
but-
Don't mean you got to give them love this year.
Fine. I'll give the clean sweep to Past Lives. Everybody should check out this movie. Past Lives is like the main reason I think we are redoing this A24 bracket.
And
along
Talk
with
to Me.
Talk
And
to
talk
Me.
to me.
But yeah, it is so good, and
So
I
really
just
quickly,
hope
I would
people
just
give
like
it
to
that
talk
chance.
about our sponsor, Past Lives. I'm joking. They did not pay
I
us.
was gonna
They
make the
didn't pay us.
joke. I was gonna make the joke.
They didn't pay us. I fucking swear.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel good about it. Past Lives is a beautiful movie.
It is. I don't know if I expected it to go all the way, but
Me either.
No, I
it is-
expected it to go pretty far. I just
yeah. But I think it's just the way the bracket
there's just
shook
others
out.
that
I
there's
think
just
the way the
others that
bracket
I
shook
think
out.
with the longevity that they've had. I don't know if y'all have a top 5 because I know since the last one there's been a literal whole other half. So I'll kind of go through mine as y'all get yours ready. And in no particular order. I'm just looking at the left side and the other side, building a top 5 for me. I know for a fact Hereditary goes in there in terms of all of the brand new movies that have been out since the beginning of A24. But honestly, a lot of them come from this recent side over here. Hereditary, Midsommar. I'm also going to add, as I'm scrolling down this list over here, maybe Bodies, I'd put in there. Past Lives,
Top 5.
Talk
Damn.
to Me. Yeah, they would go in there. Which, again, to think that I would have, favorites that I've had like mid-90s in the second half. Ex Machina, Swiss Army has somehow now been in my second half. All because they've been beat out by the newer movies that we've had at this point. But if it's directors making better movies, then that's the whole point of A24, and that's what I like to see. Them bringing back talent that they've had, that they've showcased, and are now doing even better. Damn, Uncut Gems too, bro. Like,
It's hard.
it's
Yeah.
a whole list.
I think I threw together
let
a
me know.
quick top 5 if you want me
Shoot.
to go first, Amanda.
Yeah, go for it.
So at number 5, I'll put Swiss Army Man. I still really love that film. It's still my favorite film from Daniels. Number 4, we overlooked it, but I think The Lobster is really good.
Yeah,
I
no,
really
it is.
enjoy it. It's so twisted and dark. Great Colin Farrell performance in that too. I got Past Lives at 3. New, but it's great and won the bracket for a reason. I have Bo Burnham's 8th Grade at number 2. Really
Take
respond
me
to that film.
inside for a second. I don't even know why.
It would be high up on this bracket too, but I don't think that's A24. And then number 1, I'm going Uncut Gems. I love that Safdie Brothers movie so much. I think it's a masterpiece. So, yeah, I got Uncut Gems. Amanda, I don't know if you have a list together yet.
Dude, I don't know what order they'd be in, but I would probably
Who cares?
Talk to Me, Past Lives, and Talk to Me. Talk to Me is really good, but it might be a little bit recency. It's hard to say. Talk to Me, Past Lives. Where did it go? I had them. I'm gonna go Aftersun. I really fucking love Aftersun. Under the Silver
If you want
Lake.
to take a minute to kind of collect it, I can also just cut around too.
That's okay. We'll go Under the Silver Lake, and then I had the other one. Where did it go? Yeah, we'll go
First
Swiss
Cow.
Army Man. Swiss Army Man.
Nice.
Or Midsommar. One of those two. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Zach, yours is Uncut Gems for sure. Like, that's your top spot.
Yeah, I don't see any of them really overtaking that. I just really responded to that movie.
I love the
it's
Daniels.
Involves so many of the things that I love. Yeah.
It's good.
Uncut? Oh, easily. I love the Daniels. It's Ari for me. The Midsommar Hereditary thing, those have been my favorites. Easily. That to me is A24. Amanda?
I agree with you. If I'm talking like, what do I think when I think A24? I do think Midsommar. I think Hereditary.
Not Harmony Korine? Spring Break.
It's Spring Break, actually, but yeah,
Ugh.
I don't know. There's a lot of highlights. So many good ones, and then some that I
Yeah.
just don't
Decent
like at
studio.
all.
Yeah, not so bad.
What?
And I have a feeling
Yeah.
we're going to continue talking about them a lot.
They're doing all right.
Yeah, I at least respect. For the most part, I at least respect the ones I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, they consistently support bold visions from interesting filmmakers.
That's
and
exactly it.
even if you don't respond to it, it's cool that these are movies that are getting made and that it seems to have result in a successful model, because they are doing really well for themselves. So yeah, we'll continue to talk about these, and maybe when they release another 32 or 64 great movies, we'll have to revisit the bracket.
Try doing it the opposite way. Go most recent versus oldest, and go backwards like that.
No. Alphabetical.
Not
True
what about
chaos.
like by like
True chaos.
letterboxed popularity? I was thinking about trying
letterbox popularity probably actually makes quite a bit of sense, but
Put an IMDb 250.
Let us know how we should organize our next bracket in the comments down below. Let us know
Box
your favorite
office.
A24 movie in the comments down below. And check out our social media to download the A24 bracket for yourself and send us a copy of your winners. I'm always fascinated to know what the inner cuties choose, not just like what they choose to win overall, but what they choose in all the different matchups, because, you know, the brackets break in really interesting ways, and just figuring out people's final fours is cool to see. So yeah, head over to Intercut Pod on the various social media streams and send us a bracket. But I think
Unless
that's
it's
about
Climax.
all.
Then don't sign us
You don't
up
want to
for
see it?
I don't want to see it.
I don't even. Just unsubscribe.
I'm kind of curious to know what the
Who
bracket
puts
would
that
be
at
if
the
somebody.
top?
Yeah.
They're
If
up there.
your number one movie is Climax, definitely send in the bracket.
Whoa.
You can tag me. Any more thoughts on A24, or should we wrap this one up?
Nah, it's
I
perfect.
think that's it, man. Like
All right.
they're that studio.
Yeah. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us for another bracket. We'll
Absolutely.
have you on for, well, actually, people are seeing this after we already posted our best movies and best TV of the year so far.
Oh, there you go.
But we're recording it before.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
where
yeah.
can people find more from you?
Oh, for me, I just want to say Karsten Runquist might have Climax at the top of his
Oh, I know.
A24 list
That's
because
exactly
he
why I want to
loves it. He's
unsubscribe.
got that 5 of 5 on that shit.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
You
mute
can
it.
find me.
We'll ask him about his favorite A24 movies too.
Yeah, you can find me at AmandaTheJedi on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on that a lot. Letterboxd, Twitch, and probably a lot of other places at AmandaTheJedi.
Cool. Art, where can people find more from you?
You can find me at LME Movies on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and right here with Beau being extra, right?
Stop.
You can find more from me on Twitter or Letterboxd at Zshevich, or on YouTube and TikTok at Multiplex Show, and find more from Intercut at Intercut Pod across different social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you. You can also listen to the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify, whatever your favorite podcatcher is, and subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see our determined faces and kind of like somewhat tired. It's been a long day, I think, for all of us faces, as we talk about the
On hour
latest
11.
in entertainment. Find new episodes of Intercut streaming every Monday, and please leave us a comment, like the video, consider heading over to iTunes to give us that much requested 5-star review, and shout out to our listeners in the US for putting us on the film review
I like that
charts.
place.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool country.
Good country.
Amanda, come visit sometime. Sometimes. Check us out on social media. Follow us on Patreon, or support us on Patreon, patreon.com/intercutpod, to get updates and behind the scenes access, as well as access to our monthly patron Google Hangouts. You can also get updates by following us on different social media throughout the week, from Art, from me, from Amanda, from all the guests that we feature here on Intercut. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, look at all my shit. Shirts every color.
Not in front of my shell.